Hello everybody. I'm just gonna try to get my comments up here. There we go. All right. So for today's live, I'm going to be putting together the For the Love of Felt kit. This is a project kit, so it doesn't come with the stamp set, the inks, anything like that. It comes with just the supplies. So you will need a few extra things. You'll need some ink pads. So I've grabbed my Pear Pizzazz, Calypso Coral, Sahara Sand, Shaded Spruce, and Daffodil Delight, because that's what the instructions told me to do. And then I've got a couple different adhesives. I've got my liquid glue, I've got my snail adhesive, I've got some glue dots, which aren't necessarily listed in the kit, but I really like them. Hey, Sue! And then I've got my Stampin' Dimensionals here as well. So I keep them in a clear case, but that's where I keep all of my dimensionals. I do have some snips as well because I find them super useful. Let me grab some things as we go along here. So the project kits, like I said, the stamp set's separate, but they come with kind of all the paper and embellishments and stuff you need. They come with instructions as well, so I'm going to be following along with these as we go. I'm going to put them up here so that I can see them. And then this kit comes with this cute little box, so this will hold your cards when you're done. And then inside is all of the goodies here. So I'm going to put this aside. So we've got a bunch of felt flowers, some linen thread, put those, and the sequins, we'll put those to the side. Oh, some more felt flowers. And then we've got some pre-printed pieces here. I'm going to need one of each of these because I'm going to do one of each of the cards. Makes sense, right? I'm not going to make you watch me make 12 cards because that's how many this kit makes. And then I need one of each of the card bases. Ooh, I've got some die cut leaves there too. And one more card base. There we go. I'll grab the envelopes after. Got some more. There's little die cuts spread everywhere here. Okay, and then we'll grab the envelopes after. And then this vellum sheet we've got as well. So we only need one of those for one of the cards. Okay, so the first card we're gonna make, I think the only die cuts we need is we need one of the yellow flowers. And then we need one of these. And then we've got this and this. And then our felt flowers. How many of those do we need? We need one of these ones. And I'm literally just looking at the instructions here. And then we need one of these ones. Now these ones are, oh, that bag is hard to open. There we go. They're already stacked, so that's kind of handy. And then I need one of these ones. And we're gonna need some linen thread. Okay, so first we're gonna stamp our sentiment, and that we're gonna do in Calypso Coral. For this one, we're gonna stamp "You Make an Ordinary Day Special," which is kind of nice if you're just sending a just because card. There's that. My ink pad aside before it ends up all over my elbows. And then we are going to stamp the leaves in Shaded Spruce. So that's these guys here. And we're going to do that twice. We're going to do it once this way and once this way. Whoop, throwing things around. And then we're gonna stamp in Sahara Sand, I believe. Oh, no, Daffodil Delight. We're gonna stamp that flower. Which way does this flower go? This way, I think. Okay. There we go. And now we're gonna stamp in Sahara Sand. There it is. Okay, this is super cool little swirly. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So that is all the stamping for this card done. Now all of these cards, all three of them, kind of follow the same order. You stamp, you stick, you embellish. So it's pretty easy to kind of follow these instructions. So I've stamped, I'm gonna stick this piece on, and then I'm gonna embellish with all my little flowers and stuff. Now the instructions call for the liquid glue, which will work, but I'm a little impatient. I don't like waiting for it to dry, so I like to use glue dots. So I'm going to use glue dots for, oh, I guess I can use snail for the paper one. Actually, no, I'm going to use a glue dot because then it'll stick up just a little bit. And it'll... Now, this is something that I see people doing kind of wrong a lot of the time. When you're using your glue dots, you want to keep them covered up all the time because otherwise you have all these glue dots exposed and they're going to stick to everything on your desk. So what you want to do is you want to keep them covered and then take this back and just uncover the one that you want. And then you stick whatever you want to stick to it, pick it up, and it has a glue dot on the back. And you don't have glue dots everywhere making a huge mess on your desk or wherever you're crafting. Just a little pro tip. Okay, and the little felt pieces are not sticking this morning. There we go. I'm gonna stick that right there. And then we've got another little felt piece. Now on these bigger ones, you can use more than one glue dot. It will hold a bit better. So I'm going to use 3. I'm going to put that one right there. And on this one, maybe I'll just use 2. It's not quite that big. And I'm going to put that one right there. And I kind of tucked it under the petal for the other one. Oh, and I wanted to do this one as well, the little leaf here. Now this one is going to kind of stick through, but I'm going to tuck that little leaf, I'm going to tuck underneath here so you don't actually see that extra glue dot. Okay, and then now I'm going to tear off the extra from the glue dots, but I'm going to keep that last one covered. I'm just going to put my thumb on it and then tear off. So I've still got all of my glue dots covered. Okay, now we still have the linen thread. I'm going to use a roll I started already. Okay, we're going to tie a bow using 12 inches of linen thread. Sounds about right. So I'm going to measure out 12 inches of linen thread here. And I'm going to chop that and I'll show you how I do my bows. There's a bajillion different ways of doing bows, and this is the way that I like. So I take 2 sides like this and I make bunny ears. So I've got my bunny ears like that, and then cross them over, and the one that went over, you're going to pull it through this loop down here. So it's going to go around through the loop there, and then when you pull on the bunny ears, it makes a nice little bow. Now with the linen thread, it doesn't really make a huge difference how you do it because the knot is so small that it kind of gets hidden. But with ribbon, I find this makes the nicest bows. I've seen and I've done like the fork methods and all that kind of stuff, but I don't like how those bows turn out with a lot of ribbons, so I don't tend to use them. This is the method that I use to make kind of a freestanding bow. And I'm going to tuck that onto a glue dot, and then this glue dot, because see how it's too much glue dot, I'm just going to fold it over, and then I can use my scissors to put it right where I want. There we go. That is one card done. On to the next one. So for this one, where did I put all my pieces? Here they are. For this one, we're going to use this background and the plain background, and we're going to use 1, 2, 3 of those leaves. And we're going to use 2 of these flowers. I'm going to use that one. And we're going to use 4 of these. Oh, are they different? Yeah, they're different. Okay. We'll use a few of those ones as well, but I still think we've got 4 of these. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, actually. Oh yeah, we've got 2 of those and 4 of those. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then the felt pieces, we've got 2 of these. Oh, we're totally not done with this card yet. Jeez Louise. We forgot about the sequins. I forgot about the sequins. Okay, we're gonna do 1, 2 of those, and 1 of the little ones. How's that? Okay. Now, again, in the instructions and the videos I've seen, they use liquid glue for this. I'm just going to use my glue dots because I like my glue dots. And I'll just tuck the extra glue dots underneath the little sequins. There we go. Okie dokie. The glue would probably actually be easier for that, but I don't have time to wait for it to dry. Okay, back to our card here. Where did I put all my stuff for it? There we go. Okay. So we've got my 2 of those, and then 1 of each of these again. Okay. So now with this one, I think I'm going to end up using some dimensionals. So we'll do our stamping first again. So we're going to stamp, let's see here. We're going to stamp the flower in Calypso Coral. And we're going to stamp our sentiment, which says, let's celebrate. We're going to stamp in Shaded Spruce. We're not stamping anything in Daffodil Delight. We're going to stamp the swirls again in Sahara Sand. And then we're going to stamp those leaves in Pear Pizzazz. Now, because we're going from a darker color to a lighter color, see how there's still lots of dark ink on there? I'm going to want to clean that first. So I've got my scrub. I already got some cleaner on there. I'm just going to get rid of all that shaded spruce on there and then dry it off. And we're ready to go with that lighter color. Sorry, my chair is making horrendous noises today. So we're going to stamp these leaves a few times. We're going to stamp them that side. We're going to stamp them that side. And then we're going to stamp them over here. Now, normally I don't care, but I want to save this mat for something else. So I'm not going to stamp off onto my grid paper. Okay, there we go. So that's all our stamping done. Okay, next up. So we've stamped in Pear Pizzazz. Which the instructions are kind of on 2 different pages, so I'm trying to follow along here. Okay, so we're gonna adhere our little, oh, I guess we can adhere this to the card base now, but for this one we're actually gonna wrap the linen thread around. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get 30 inches of linen thread. That's where I was confusing myself. And we're going to wrap this around our card base. There we go. Now the world makes sense again. Alrighty. So go around there. Now we're gonna adhere this to the card base. All right, so I like to, when I wrap around, I like to use dimensionals, because the dimensionals, you can cheat and use them to hold your thread on too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put those like that so that they hold my thread onto the back of my layer, and then it won't come undone. Okay. And again, that's a bit of a diversion from the instructions, but shh, nobody needs to know. This is only going on the internet, right? Okay. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use my liquid glue here. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to just make a little swirl of glue here that I can kind of stick all my bits to, because there's so many little pieces. So we're going to stick that one there. We're going to stick one of these here, one of the little ones too, maybe. Stick another one of these. Some more glue on top here. And another one of these going that way. All right, and then we're going to work on the other side here. So I've got, stick that under there. Stick that over top. So because I just have kind of that puddle of glue there, it's just going to kind of let me stick things wherever I want to stick them. Which I kind of like. All right, so we've got all those on there. Now we're going to put these ones on, all our little felt pieces. And now these ones I'm kind of going to use to cover up my massive glue puddle. Except for that one, that's nowhere near my glue puddle. And then this one I'm actually going to attach in a minute once I've attached these ones. And I'm going to use a dimensional so that it actually sticks up a little bit. So on the back here, I'm going to pop a dimensional. And then I'm going to pop this over top of the rest of the mess. There we go. Ta-da! Does this one get any sequins? Yes, it gets some sequins. I think they all get sequins. So, I'll use the liquid glue this time just to kind of show you. We'll do 5 all together. Okay, So I want one down there. So I'm just doing a tiny little drop of glue wherever I want a sequin. And then I just put the sequin on the drop of glue. Easy peasy. Except when it sticks to your finger. Now you could use your take your pick tool for this, but it's actually not going to hold very well because the take your pick tool is actually stickier than the glue that you're sticking it to while it's still wet. So what you'll want to do if you want to use your take your pick tool is have a second tool like your scissors or something like that, so that you pick up your sequin like that and then you push it down with the other tool and then it will stick to your paper better. All right, there is that one done. On to the third and last one here. Bring all my pieces back. Okay, this time I know I'm using all three of those. And then for our background, or for our die cut pieces rather, I've got 3 of these. And, oh, that one fell on the ground. There it is. 3 of those. 2 of these. 1 of each of these. And then we've got 2 of these ones. One, 2, 3 of these. And 2 of these. Now if you're making all of them at one time, the easiest thing to do would be make little piles with each of your cards with all the little bits that you need. That way if you do miscount or anything like that, you know it before you start putting things together. Okay, so we'll stamp again and then we'll start sticking things together. So with this one, I'm going to go a little bit out of order from last time. I'm going to do my So Very Thankful in Shaded Spruce. That's going to go kind of in the middle of my little circle here. There we go. And then we've got those leaves again in Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to do those in each corner. Now normally I would just put this on my grid paper, but I want to use my grid paper again for something else right away. So I'm just using a scrap piece of cardstock here to catch my edges. There we go. All right. Now we're gonna do yellow and Calypso Coral for this. So I'm gonna, can't remember what color I stamped with this last, so I'm gonna clean my flower stamp again. I think it was the Calypso Coral. Now I'm gonna do my Daffodil Delight first so that I don't have to clean my ink pad. Because I'm going to a darker color, it doesn't really matter, it won't show up. So I'm gonna do my Daffodil Delight. And then I'm gonna do my Calypso Coral here. There we go. All right, so once again, that's all the stamping done. Oops. All right, so now we're going to start sticking our embellishments down. So we've got a leaf, one of the long sprigs. Guess I want to keep it on the, oops, where'd my scissors go? There we go. All right, and then I'm gonna do light flower to kind of hold it all together. Okay, and then I'm going to do basically the same thing up the side here. This one does kind of come off the edge of the page a little bit, or off the layer rather. And then this last one is going to go this way. Alrighty. Do this one with the dimensional again, because I can. There we go. Okay, now for these little pieces, I'm going to use my glue dots again, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to attach the leaf, these little leaves, to the back of that, and then stick this hole to the little felt piece there. And then we're going to stick this whole thing down like that. And we're going to do the same thing here, except we're going to stick this whole thing to our little yellow flower now too. And now I am going to grab another glue dot, make this a little bit easier to attach right there. There we go. All right, so that is that layer done. Now we're going to start building this all. So we've got our vellum layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some snail just in the middle where it's going to be covered up. You don't want to put snail on these edges that are going to show, because the snail will show through. So see, when I stick that down, you can kind of see that blue from the snail. We want that to be hidden with this. So now we're going to snail the back of this. And now we're going to stick this down, and it's going to cover up all that snail stuff. There we go. Alrighty, now we just have our sequence. Alrighty. I'll show you what I meant with my take your pick tool. Whoa, that's way too many sequins. Trick there. So I'm going to take the take your pick tool, and then if I just put it on the glue like that, it'll just come right back up again. So I need to hold it down with the scissors, and then it will stay. So it's kind of a two-handed take your pick tool strategy, but it is still way easier than trying to use your fingers, especially if you're a little shaky, or like me, you have no fingernails. Alrighty, there we go. Slam, slam, slam. Okay, so got all our little sequins back in their packages, and these are the 3 cards. So again, if you get this kit yourself, you'll actually make 4 each of these 3 cards, so you'll have 12 cards altogether. If you want to get the kit and the stamp set and all of that for yourself, you can go to thecraftymedic.com, follow the shop now links on the right. There's a host code and all that fun stuff there, so you get some goodies from me. However, if you would rather not have to buy all the stamps and the ink and all the glues and all that kind of stuff, just get in touch with me, and what we can do is we can do a class. So everybody will buy the project kit, and I'll supply the stamps, the ink, all the tools you need, And it's a really fun way to kind of get some friends together, and everybody will make 12 of these awesome cards. And it's a little bit more affordable and a fun get together that way. And yes, Sue, I use my take your pick tool all the time. I don't think I've done a project since I've gotten it that I haven't used it on. So there you go. It's kind of a must-have in my book. All right, enjoy, happy stamping, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to be not going live on Tuesday because I'm working, but I'm going to post a video on Tuesday, so you can see that. My plan is to have a video post every Tuesday and every Saturday. When I'm working, it'll be pre-recorded, but days when I'm not working, like today, I'll go live. Happy stamping. Bye.